I know you've also done a roundtable with, the Dogs by Nature site that you write for. Browns offseason plan. Is it rebuild or reload? What do you think it is?
Well, we're of course waiting for the big dominoes to fall, and we won't unfortunately know until those start to happen. And when the league year opens in March, the first and foremost being what quarterback do they go out and sign in free agency? If they sign a capable veteran, or if they're really trying to take a swing at somebody to come in and be the starter for this year, you have to wonder how that impacts Miles' decision and whether or not he would reconsider his trade request. And then, of course, I think Joel Bitonio is probably waiting to see what's going on with the Myles Garrett situation before he makes his big decision. So those are some dominoes that we need to see at least one of them start to happen before we can make too many, before we can make too many proclamations about what the Browns are going to do. But in that article in specific that you're talking about, I'm kind of in the middle of the road. I think that there's a possibility that you can trade Miles for future assets and also still try to compete and be competitive over the next couple of years. I'm not suggesting that the Browns tank at all or try to go any of that. I would argue that the tank already happened last year, and we've went through that. So everything from here on out would be, an upswing and a retooling versus more of like a major rebuild.
Yeah, I, tell me your thoughts on this. When you look at the Browns roster, there's a huge hole at quarterback. There has been. Deshaun Watson was not good. Jameis Winston wasn't the answer. But when I look at the roster from top to bottom, I see a 7, maybe 8 win team, 500, slightly under 500, as opposed to a 3 win. Am I talking myself into that as somebody that follows the Browns way too closely?
No, Dave, I think your assessment is pretty fair and right on there. Just a year ago, they were an 11-win team with a similar roster, and I would argue that they added some, talent to the roster in last year's draft. They brought in Mike Hall, among others, and I think that I definitely think they can still be in that neighborhood of 7 to 10 wins, competing for the playoffs. And of course, they are going to need to absolutely solve that quarterback position you were mentioning in order to go to the next level.
Yeah, and there's other issues as well, but everything looks a little better when you get competent quarterback play, and everything looks much worse when you get the type of quarterback play that the Browns had last season.
Yeah, absolutely. It magnifies it.